please let me know when you're ready to start the timer.
Alright, we're ready to go then?
Alright, give me a countdown.
Alright, well first I just want to get a couple things out of the way because once I start this game there's basically like no downtime. It goes like right into it and it just goes right to the end. So, as you probably know, I'm GURPS2002 and this is The Secret Island of Dr. Quandry. It's a edutainment puzzle game that came out in 1992. I found this game in elementary school, which is actually kind of the inspiration for why I run it, because for most of elementary school, I was the only one who could actually beat this game on its hardest difficulty, and sometimes I just like to do that whenever I'm goofing off. I picked up speedrunning on it when I got bored one night, and I wondered if anybody speedran the game. At the time, it was just one guy, Ness Kamikaze. From what I can tell, he's out of speedrunning. I am currently world record holder. My personal best is 6 minutes 46 for this category, which we're going to be doing, and that is beat the game with beginner. When you play Troubleshoot, which I'm going to start, which is the first game we're going to start, and I guess we'll start the countdown here in 3, 2, 1, and start. Okay, so this is Troubleshoot. This is the first one. Some of you might recognize these Troggles from another mech game, the Super Munchers thing. And by the way, also what I'm doing here is I'm throwing the Troubleshoot because it's a lot faster and definitely more consistent to just throw the Troubleshoot 3 times and basically win by default. And we're going to take this doll, which is beginner. As the punny name probably indicates, this is the beginner difficulty. We're going to pick up that bottle. We're supposed to run over to that recycle bin there and throw the note that we got in the bottle into it for a recipe of what we're supposed to get, but we don't have time for that. So we're just going to go up here and right into one of the most annoying trials in the game. This is called Frogmeister. You hit the fly with the rock, you throw the fly into that into the frog's mouth there. Then you throw the popcorn at the bird. Bird's distracted. You can go into the cave. You get frog eggs, and that's Frogmeister. I say that's one of the most annoying games, one of the most annoying trials in the game, because while that time it was nice, especially on the harder difficulties, it can just really wreck your day with the wind. And this is Discappear. This is like the old game of Nim, if any of you might know about that. Basically, you're just trying to get her to take the last disc. And, well, on beginner, I like to say the game basically holds your hand and walks you through. It kind of wants you to complete the game. OD Nary, the intermediate difficulty, the game will punish you if you make a mistake. And on Difficult, which is the hardest difficulty, the game, well, it actively tries to beat you. So, not much to say about this. There's 3 games like these where you basically build a outline, and the whole thing is you just want to put it in the right place. And the game actually can be annoyingly specific about where the individual pink pieces go. And we're into another really, really annoying one. This is the acid test. Basically, you're trying to get to that green orb there and not get shot. Because if you get shot, you go right back to the beginning. And we're through. That hardly ever happens, actually. I'm going to back down here. And we're going to play this game. This is a math game called Tax Factor. You get a bunch of tokens on the table. When you pick one up, he picks up ones that are factors. So I started with 1. For instance, you get 7. I'm now going to pick up 9. He takes 3. And that's the basics of it, really. And we won. I'm going to turn back because I need that real quick. And we're going to go back this way. And we're going to go up here. This is going to be another shape puzzle. This is Waxy Build Up, where you build the candle. And this one, I've noticed, out of all three of them, tends to be the most specific. It can be really, really annoying. Like, yeah, like you'll think you have the perfect positioning, and the game just won't complete. So it's kind of a fine balancing act for me, deciding on whether if I want to be like right there. I mean, there was hardly anything wrong with the initial lie, but it just decided to mess with me anyways. And we're gonna do the third one here. Again, not really much to say. This time you're building the boat. Whoop-de-doo. So, as you complete these mini games, you get prizes from them, and there are 12 mini games in total, and you need I think it's 12 total rewards, and that you need for the Fixer Elixir. And this one we're doing is Numlock. Basically, you're guessing the combination. On beginner, it is 2 digits long. And that's all there is to it. So, we're going to get a paperweight with a lock of hair from Elvis, from him. Then we're also going to pick up that, we're going to pick up the combination lock into this game called Headstrong Hop. And this one's self-explanatory. You're going to move along. I like to use the mouse because this game can sometimes require you to be in a really precise spot to bump the note up onto the score overhead. And trying to finagle with the arrow keys for movement is kind of problematic. And this is actually a speedrun strat I didn't know about before. I'm going to hit the hotkey to run away from the game after I pick up the rose, but it's going to let me keep... wrong button. It's going to let me keep the rose anyway. You're normally supposed to walk right across the stage and into the... and down the stairs to exit. And this is another luck-based segment here, the tunnel vision. But we got a pretty beneficial pattern, pretty quick pattern, and we're out of it. We get, from that one, we got our candle was transformed into a clump of wax, and we got cave moss from walking through. This is Tire Tower, which is basically Tower of Hanoi, if some of you know that game. If you don't, this is basically all there is to it. You're trying to move the tower underneath the oil can so you can get it, and you just have to remember the smaller tire has to be on top of the bigger one. We're going to turn back, and we're almost done with it right here. This is the last one that we're going to do. It's called Ape the Ape. It's Simon Says. He gives you a number pattern, and you have to repeat it. One drop you can do, but can you do 2? He talks in rhyme the whole game. On beginner, it's only 2 numbers long. On Nary, it's 7, and if you do difficult, it's 10 numbers long. So we have 1, 2, 4. You'll notice I'm not hitting ones that are I'm not hitting numbers that are right next to each other. Like I'm not hitting 2 like immediately after 1, and that's because the way you kind of be quick here is you just don't miss drops. Missing a drop can lose you either a couple seconds or it can lose you a bunch. There, it didn't lose me a whole lot. 1, 2, 4, 2, and 5. And from this one, we're going to get the cup and its contents, the tin cup full of gobbledygoo. And quick peek shows we've beaten all the mini games. We have a full inventory. We're going to come up here onto this beach that's off limits. There's this giant pot. We're going to put items in. And we're not going to put in all the items because you only need certain items. If you put in an item that you don't need, nothing happens and you just wasted a bunch of time. Then we're going to come over here and just keep hitting the bellows. It'll start to simmer and then boil. As far as the items that you need, there's about 12 or 13 of them. And also time's about coming up. Right about time. So, as I was saying, you need about 12 or 13 items in the pot, but there's 5 items that you don't need. And you're going to have an easier time if you want to play the game remembering the 5 items that you don't need. Oh, out of curiosity, what was my time?
8:36.
Yeah, actually that's pretty good. Normally I average about 7, low 7s, low 7s to about 8 minutes. So that's pretty good for the settings. I recommend this game for anybody who wants to play it because, as you can see, it's real straightforward. It's not all that challenging, and even then, there's still a couple of games that are luck-based just to give a little variety. My personal best for, as I said, my personal best for beginner was 646, and I'm also in the future going to be playing Nary on my own stream, and just recently I improved the PB on that, my PB on that one from 10:05 down to 9:21, so I feel like I've got a lot of time to save. And the game basically just plays the same for all 3 difficulties. Just like I said, the AI finds ways to kind of mess with you. So that was Secret Island Dr. Quandry. I hope you all weren't totally bored. And thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for the run. It was really cool. GG Curbs.
Alright.
So up next, we have a Pack and Roll remix with Super Viper. So we're going to be switching over and getting ready for that.